Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining me for a warm Revitalize practice. Feel free to stay on your back if you're comfortable there. If you would rather come to a seated position though, then you're more than welcome to adjust to find that place. If we haven't had the chance to meet before, my name is Megan, and I'm subbing for Tanya today, and we'll be guiding us through the next 60 minutes together. So if and when you feel comfortable doing so, allow the body to unfold to a place where you feel comfortable enough to maybe close down the eyes. Feeling the shoulders actively press down the back. And then allow them to experience softness there. For many of us, this may be our first time today with centering ourselves, with developing a more intimate connection and awareness with the energy that the body is holding and in different particular places. We'll start doing a scan of the physical body, just taking note if anything pops up when we move through the area. If you're noticing or feeling tension, warmth, coolness, or even if you're feeling nothing at all. See if you can draw the attention to the top of the head. And then from the top of the head, trace the awareness down the front of the forehead, resting in between the eyebrows. And from the eyebrows, allow the awareness to continue wandering down the face, across the bridge of the nose, the center of the lips, the curve of the chin, and into the throat. From the throat, continue to trace the awareness down through the rest of the neck, brushing in between the collarbones, the sternum, settling for a few moments in the center of the chest. And from the center of the chest, you might begin to bring the attention down and through the top parts of the belly, the center of the belly, the base of the belly. From the belly, bringing the attention down into the pelvis, into around the outer hip, and the top of the leg. tracing the energy down into the lowest part of the spine, the base of the tailbone, reflect upon this journey of scanning the body. And if there were particular points along that path that drew your attention, or maybe a point of interest for you that you wish to explore a bit more, we'll see if we can connect our breathing to those particular spots or places. As you inhale, visualize the space opening with breath. And then as you exhale, feel the space concentrate as the breath leaves. Inhaling again through the nose, observing the space as it fills. And exhale, releasing the breath, the space centers. And continue making your way through many more rounds of this conscious breath. And see if over time you can maybe bring the sensations of the space throughout the entirety of the spine. As we inhale, we feel the breath from the belly lifting all the way up past the crown of the head. And as we exhale, releasing the breath from the crown all the way back down again to the tailbone. And visualize these points of interest, not necessarily in isolation, but as part of a connected web that weaves together, that exists in all spaces inside of us. You might start to find Ujjayi Pranayama or an ocean-sounding breath by engaging the back of the throat as you breathe. The sound of the ocean waves rolling up and down the throat. If you're laying on your mat, take 2 more rounds of breath here. Rolling over to the right side to a fetal position. And then keeping the eyes closed, we'll press ourselves to seated, bringing the hands to pray in the center of the chest. Think back to the particular point along the body that was calling you, or maybe the point that you feel called into. And we'll bring sound into the space and into the particular point with 1 round of Om together, visualizing the vibrations echoing in the chamber of the body, taking a full inhale. Om. lengthening through the crown of the head here. The eyes may stay closed. You may draw them open. Wherever you are, release the hands down either to the lap or beside the body. And as you inhale, begin to roll the right ear up towards the right shoulder. And as you exhale, circle the chin into the chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. Inhaling to the right. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhaling left. And exhale, chin to chest. And continue to take many more rounds of these circles, following your own inhales and exhales. Your own intuition, maybe staying in a particular spot for a moment or two. Maybe over time bringing this movement in through the upper back and in through the shoulders a bit more. And let's take one more round on each side. Bringing the head back up to center when you're ready. Good. Let's take an inhale to reach the arms to sides and overhead. And now as we exhale, bring the hands in front as we make our way to tabletop, coming through to all fours. Taking some time to align ourselves here in table pose. The wrists might be underneath the shoulders, or if it's more comfortable for the hands, they might be a little bit more in front. If the wrists feel uncomfortable at any point on the hands, feel free to make fists or to just come out of the tabletop position and maybe rejoin when you're ready. And from this tabletop, let's begin to find a low belly brace, a sense of engaging and bringing the low belly in towards the lower back, and then almost as though the navel is expanding out towards the sides of the body, so we're having this deep internal expansion. And then from this braced belly, let's see if we can extend the right leg back behind us, keeping the ball of the foot down on the floor to start. Finding an internal rotation with the back leg to ensure the hips remain level. You might stay here, you might lift the back foot off of the floor. The left hand might stay where it is, or if you like, without compromising the low back, the left hand might walk in front, maybe even lengthen by the ear. Let's take one more inhale here. And as we exhale, we'll lower the knee, lower the hand back down, preparing for the second side. Again, finding the low belly brace, the deep squeeze in through the center. When you're ready, seeing about maybe reaching the left leg back behind you, ensuring that the inner thighs feel as though they're squeezing together. Maybe the back leg stays on the mat, maybe the leg lifts off the floor. Can we feel the point of focus in the body that we had at the beginning of practice? Extend out through the toes, maybe extend out through the right arm for a few more moments. We'll take one more inhale. And as you exhale, lower the hand and knee back down on the mat. And then from here, let's open the knees a little bit wider, about mat distance apart, and take the hands a bit farther in front of you. And from here, let's take an inhale to shift the weight forward over the hands. And then as you exhale, start circling the hips to the back right corner of the mat, over to the left. And as you inhale, draw up through the left side. Exhaling again, hips circle to the back right corner, and the back left. And inhale, circling up through the side. And again, continue this movement at your own pace. Maybe noticing how the upper body becomes involved or doesn't. Yeah, we'll take one more round on this side, one more circle. And we'll begin circling the opposite way once you're through. No worries if the breath shifts or does something different. Can we find a way to connect our breathing to our movement? Waking up through the hips, waking up through the shoulders and the back. And the next time you find yourself in child's pose, allow yourself to rest there for a few moments. If the forehead isn't quite in contact with the floor, but you would like it to be in contact with something, you can always stack fists and allow the forehead to rest on top of the hands that way. Notice if you're holding on to anything with your exhales. Maybe you can feel the heart melt a little bit closer towards the mat. And please remember that child's pose is here to support the practice. It might be the entire practice today. Feel free to come in and out of this posture or any other resting posture as many times as you need. Let's take a deep sighing breath together now. Inhale. The very end of your exhale, we'll make our way back up to hands and knees together. And where we'll curl the toes underneath and begin to lift the knees off the mat, sending the hips up overhead into downward facing dog. Take some time here to feel in through the lower body. It might be pedaling through the feet. It might be shifting the hips from side to side. Eventually, maybe resting somewhere along the midpoint of the posture. And can you feel the energy in through the spine, translate in through the hands and in through the feet? The deep sense of purpose of rooting into what lies beneath. And footstep by footstep now, let's begin to walk the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Taking a generous bend in through the legs once you arrive here, allowing yourself to ragdoll forward. And this might be an opportunity where you shift the weight in the feet, maybe play around with extremes, rocking back in the heels versus on the toes. Maybe shifting the weight mostly to one foot and then the other. And then piece by piece, begin to press in through the feet as you roll yourself all the way up to standing. Closing down the eyes, rolling the shoulders up and back once you reach the top. And feeling energized in through the feet, a sense of upward lift in through the knees, of upward lift in through the hips. And with our next inhale, let's reach the arms out to sides and overhead. As we exhale, open the arms out shoulder height, tilting the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale back up through center. Second side, exhale, arms open, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, arms open, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, center. And exhale, open. We'll keep the arms here. Inhale the head to center. Now as you exhale, squeeze the hands in front as you round in through the upper back. And open the arms again. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, squeeze the arms in front, round through the upper back. Inhale, opening through the arms. Exhale, squeeze, lifting the arms overhead. Inhale, reach, swan dive forward fold. Exhale, arms open, long back down, hands to shins or thighs. Inhale to a halfway lift, and exhale, folding over the legs. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, arms reach to sides and overhead. Let's open the arms out shoulder height again. Exhale, press the arms open. Option to keep them here, or if it feels better to bend the elbows and bring the hands behind the head, that's more than welcome. As you inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up the chest. As you exhale, press the arms in front, maybe the elbows if the hands are behind the head. Inhaling again, opening through the ribs. And as you exhale, squeeze. Inhaling again, opening the elbows, maybe the arms. Exhale, squeezing and round the upper back. Reaching the arms overhead. Inhale through center, arms high. And exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to shins or thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bow forward. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, arms to sides and overhead. And this time as you exhale, press the arms down behind you to interlace the fingers around the lower back. From here, we'll shift the weight primarily into the left foot, so the right leg can step back behind us as we prepare for warrior one. Feeling strengthen through the legs, a soft bend enters in through the front knee, having engagement in through both of the glutes and a lift in through the lowest part of the belly. The hands can stay here, the torso tall, or if you would like to stretch through the front of the chest a little bit more, lengthen the arms down back behind you, lifting the chest to the sky. Keep the shoulders soft wherever you are. The hands might stay interlaced the entire time, or if it's better for the shoulders, you can always release the hands and just have them reaching back behind you. Let's take one more inhale. As you exhale, release the hands coming through neutral. Then reaching the arms in front. Inhale, carry the arms overhead. As you exhale, gather the hands to pray, back foot steps through, coming to the top of the mat. Let's inhale to guide the arms high. Swan diving forward, exhale, open arms to bow. Inhaling to your halfway lift, and exhale, fold forward. Arms reach wide, inhale, reverse swan dive up to center. And as you exhale again, interlace the fingers back behind you, or if it feels better, the hands can also just come to the hips. We'll bring the weight now into the left leg, stepping the right foot back behind us, preparing for warrior one. Left leg back behind, I think that's right, whichever one was opposite. And having equal weight between the front foot and the back foot, a sense of pressing your left hip or the back hip forward. Option to stay here with the torso vertical, or if you would like to come more into the heart expander, with the fingers interlaced or not, feel the shoulder blades squeezing together and lengthen back behind you as you lift through the chest. While the feet are apart, visualize them squeezing together. The inner thighs staying active. Taking one more inhale. As you exhale, release the arms, torso comes to neutral. Hands to pray as you inhale, and exhale, back foot steps forward. Let's inhale to bring the prayer hands high. As we exhale, open the arms, swan diving forward. Hands to shins or thighs, inhale, halfway lift. As we exhale now, let's lower the hands and lower the knees down to the floor, coming to a tabletop position. And from this tabletop position, we'll work on a bit of mobility in through our upper back and in through the shoulders. So starting with the left arm, let's take an inhale to lift the left arm off the mat. And then as you exhale, weave the arm between the right wrist and the right knee. We're coming back up. Inhale, unfolding the arm, opening the chest. As you exhale, weave the arm through and twist. And again, let's take an inhale to lift through the arm. Exhale, twisting. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist, and we'll pause here. You can allow the side of the head to rest on the floor or the forehead if that's more comfortable. Notice how playing around with the alignment of the hips can really transform the sensations here. Maybe you think about shifting the hips more to the left or more to the right. And we'll take one more inhale and exhale. And then pressing in through the right hand. Inhale, return yourself back up to center. And exhale in neutral. And we'll explore this along the second side. When you're ready, take an inhale to unfold the right arm. And as you exhale, weave the arm between the left wrist and knee. Inhale again through center, lifting the arm. And exhale, weaving it through to twist. Inhaling again, opening the arm. Exhale, weaving. Last time, inhale, lifting. Exhale, weave the arm and pause. Thinking about bringing the left shoulder back. We'll take one more breath. Inhaling when you're ready to untwist. And as you exhale, we'll plant the hands in front, curl the toes, and find downward facing dog. Let's take a sighing breath in downward dog. Inhale. And then footstep by footstep, begin to walk the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Inhaling to a halfway lift. And exhale, bowing forward. Arms reach wide, inhale, reverse swan dive, coming up to stand. As you exhale, place the hands back down on the hips, and we'll take a step back with the left foot, turning our toes to the long side edge of the mat. Yeah, good. So turning your toes to the long side edge of the mat, so we're in this wide-legged stance. Now from here, feel as though the inseams of the thighs are trying to wrap around the fronts of the legs and squeeze back together behind you, just to initiate an external rotation coming from the hip. And then from here, with this external rotation, allow the feet to match the opening. So if you're starting to feel some tension or pressure or any discomfort in through the knees, that might be a sign that the turnout's being initiated from the feet. We're wanting the turnout to be initiated from the hips instead. So you might just want to adjust the feet to be a little bit less turned out if you're feeling any discomfort there. Let's take an inhale with the arms to lift them high. And then as you exhale, we'll bend the elbows 90 degrees, bend through the knees, sinking through a squat. We'll press back up, inhale to lift. Exhale, elbows open, bending through the knees. Inhaling again, we lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend where we pause. We've done a lot with the arms and the back today, so if the elbows aren't comfortable here, you can always rest the hands on the insides of the legs. Again, even though the feet are apart, have the sensation of trying to draw them together. See if maybe you can bend through the knees a little bit more, finding fire in through the legs. With our next inhale, let's straighten through the legs, reach the arms high. And we'll re-bend the knees. Exhale, bending through the knees. This time we'll place the hands along the insides of the thighs. So we'll take an inhale with the shoulders in center. And then as you exhale, allow the right shoulder to drop forward. Inhaling through center. Then second side, exhale, left shoulder drops forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, right shoulder forward. Inhale, center. And exhale, left. Inhale, center. And then keeping the torso upright, release the hands to float on the insides of the legs, continuing to have the bend in through the knees. We'll begin to pulse, taking a few tiny pulses here. Feel free to straighten through the legs at any point. This creates a lot of fire here. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten through the legs as you inhale. And then turn the toes to the long side edge of the mat. And as you exhale, hinge yourself forward into a fold. Think back to the point in the body that was drawing your attention. How does the breath feel there now? How does the body feel there now? And let's take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, we'll come into a lunge with the right foot in front. So begin to walk the hands around towards the front of the room, spinning the toes forward. And then soften the back knee down on the floor. So for many of us, especially if the hips are feeling quite tight, it might be more comfortable to have the hands resting on top of the front thigh. Wherever you are, find some engagement again in through the glutes, and then press the hips forward so that there's a bit of activation instead of just sinking down into flexibility. We're wanting to keep the body supported here. If you would like to enter into a twist, you can always find a twist here, crossing the left hand on the right thigh. Or if the hands are on the floor, the left hand might find the earth, the right arm might reach over top. Taking one more inhale. As you exhale, return to center again, and we'll move into the second side, coming in through the wide legs. So begin to straighten through the front knee, pivot the hips to the long side edge of the mat, and then we'll turn the left toes to, it will be the back of the room for us in studio, but turning the left toes. Yeah, good. So the left leg is in front. Softening the back knee down on the floor when you're ready. Finding activity in through the glutes. The hands might stay on the floor. They might come onto the front thigh if that feels better. At any point, maybe entering into a twist. And if you are in the twist, with your next exhale, begin to unwind, lower the hands down on the floor. We'll pick up the back knee again, turn the toes through center. And from this wide-legged stance, hands find the hips with a flat back. See about coming all the way up to stand. Good, and then turning the right toes, the right toes to the front of the room. Back foot steps through, coming to the top of the mat. Nice. And so finding a comfortable place either on or off the mat for balance. If you would like to move closer to a wall, and if you're in studio, please feel free to step off the mat and just move to a wall that's closest to you for our balancing today. So we'll start with the hands on the hips and feeling really energized and lifted in through the legs. Feel so lifted that it almost becomes a little bit easier to lift the heels off of the floor here. You might stay here. You might start to bend in through the knees, lowering the hips down as though you're sitting in a chair. Having the hands on the hips makes the balance a little more challenging, actually. So if you'd like, you can stretch the arms out in front for a bit more counterweight. More than okay if the heels lift and lower. Good, and if you're down in through the bent knees, let's see if we can come back up to standing with the heels lifted. And then exhale, lower the heels down on the floor. Nice. Let's all inhale now to stretch the arms wide and high. And as we exhale, open the arms and fold forward. Inhale into your halfway lift. As you exhale, lower the hands, step your feet back into a high plank to then come all the way down to your bellies. Once you arrive here, place the arms somewhere comfortable. So it might be bending the elbows with one hand on top of the other. It might feel more comfortable with the arms back behind you, or just play around with it. We'll come into a bit of a restorative / yin posture here, meant to help open up in through the hips with gravity. So start to take a bend in through the knees, and to then open the knees about mat width apart, maybe a little bit wider, just depending on your anatomy. From here, allow the feet to come together, and then allow the feet to fall back behind you with gravity. So important here that we keep the pelvis down on the floor, so the pubic bone should remain down on the mat. Try not to lift in through the pelvis. For some of us, we might be feeling quite a bit of intensity or sensation in through the hips. For others, it might just feel like we're hitting a wall of some sort and we can't quite go any farther. If that's the case, you can play around with how wide the knees are, or you can just rest with whatever you're feeling or not feeling. And maybe focus on your breathing again, on this centralized orb somewhere along the length of the spine. How with the inhales, its quality spreads and expands throughout the rest of the body. And with its exhales, it comes back into a more concentrated form. Take 3 more breaths here. Once you're finished, the 3rd exhale, taking the feet away from each other so the knees can come together. And then do whatever you need to do here. If windshield wipering the legs from side to side feels good, or if just extending the legs behind you feels better. And then placing the legs flat on the floor behind you. We'll bring the hands under the shoulders to help lift us up to all fours, where we'll then make our way to seated. Yeah, just coming anywhere comfortable with the legs. We'll move into a bit of a side body stretch here. With your next inhale, let's reach the right arm high overhead, and then keeping both sit bones down on the floor as you exhale, reach up and over to the left side. The left hand might lower down on the floor. This might help you get a little bit deeper. Again, we've done a lot for the upper body, so if this isn't feeling good for the shoulder, you can always lower the top arm down instead. Soften into the shoulder, feeling the bottom shoulder peering from underneath. With your next inhale, let's come back up to center, both arms overhead. Into the second side as you exhale, dropping the right arm, left arm reaches long or softens down beside you. With your next breath in, let's come back up to center, where we'll then draw our knees together and roll ourselves down onto our backs as fast or as slow as you like. You can hug the knees into the chest once you land here. We'll then take the hands and interlace them behind the right thigh or on top of the right shin if that's more comfortable. And we'll lower the left foot down on the floor, keeping the knee bent to start. So as we come into this opening through the hip, you might start extending the bottom leg. So the left leg might extend. I just find for myself, I tend to prefer starting with the knee bent, and then once I'm finding myself settling into the space, there's more room to possibly extend the leg. We'll take one round of Brahmari breath or honeybee breath here, just to help settle us into these final minutes together. If you're new to this breathing technique, we inhale through the nose and exhale on the sound. And if you're not sure where to bring the focus, maybe reflect back upon the point in the spine that was drawing your attention, and to see if you can feel the vibrations there. Take a full belly inhale. Take one more breath. Releasing the grip you have on the right leg when you're ready. An open invitation to find the second side, eventually hugging the left leg into the chest. The right foot, the right knee can either stay bent with the foot on the floor. Maybe over time the leg chooses to reach forward. Again, let's find a round of Brahmari breath. Inhale. Releasing the grip you have on the leg and doing whatever you need to do to balance out through the sides. And before we find Shavasana, we'll take a reclined spinal twist. Extending the arms out about shoulder height, palms face the sky, taking a bend in through both knees, and then we'll lift the hips up, picking them up and landing them on the right side of the mat, and then pick the feet off the mat and lower the knees to the left. So sometimes just readjusting the spine this way can help bring us into a more neutral alignment where the twist can be felt a little bit differently. In just a few moments, I will be leaving the room to grab cool lemongrass infused towels. Be placing them on your mat. And feel free to use them on the face to wipe down the arms, the chest. And if you would prefer not to have one, please just let me know as I come around to you. With your next breath in, bring the knees back to center and over to the second side. Make sure that you adjust the hips first, so picking them up, landing them on the left side of the mat. With your next inhale, return the knees to center. Wrap the arms around the legs, giving yourself a squeeze to seal the practice. Opening into our final Shavasana, laying down on the mat with the arms and legs in any way that's comfortable for you. If the low back tends to feel a bit sore, taking a bend in through the knees might offer some relief. We'll come back to the tracing of the energetic points in the body. Maybe the noticings are different. Pay attention to the crown of the head. And then notice the space between the eyebrows. Drift attention down into the throat. The center of the chest. The belly. The hips. And the tailbone. Invite yourself to maybe drift deeper into these spaces, into whatever came forward for you. I'll call us back when it's time. come back into your awareness. Noticing where the breath moves. Enter into any physical movement that helps awaken you. Rolling onto the right side when you're ready into a fetal position. And then keeping the eyes closed, pressing yourself up to seated. And let's gather the hands in prayer in the center of the chest. Holding what was uncovered in the past 60 minutes together. And then as an offering, we will end our time together with one round of Om, followed by Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. These are always optional experiences to partake in, knowing that Om is a universal vibrational sound, and Shanti means peace. Feel free to join or simply listen. Take a full inhale. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.